well, I went in the temple when I was 12, and so my formative time I spent there, and so before the temple, I was in a progressive family that was interracial, and my parents were activists, I guess I could say. They weren't like out in the streets or anything like that, but their sentiment was in the progressive circles. A friend of mine had visited when we were up north in Redwood Valley. She came back and she said, "You've got to check out this group because it's really unique. It's very unusual. There are these people. They're all races. It's a church service, but it's more like." We didn't go to church. We weren't church-going people. And so to get us to go to something like that, there had to be something different about it. And what was really different was that it seemed more like a community that got together. Yes, there were church services, but there was an aim for working towards peace and social justice, and doing things for people who were in need, and they seemed very high energy and really vibrant. And so we weren't really looking for anything like that. We were just invited, and so when we went, it was quite impressive to see that many people together and, seeming really happy and wanting to do good things in the community and wanting to be together. Sure. My older sister, Diane, she was in her 20s and she had 2 small children, and she decided that she would join the temple, move from Berkeley, where she was living, and live up there in Redwood Valley. And my mother thought that it would be a good idea for me to live with her. And so for me, it was like, that sounds great. I had some new friends. I felt part of something. It's just very different from what our experience was. When you're that young, you really observe people too, and so I was just like, wow, look at these people are so vibrant and so happy, and I want this, and so it seemed right. And kids usually trust their parents to do the right things. I think because of the sense of community, there was like, if I had stayed in Berkeley, she was concerned that I would end up, on this, doing things and drugs and things like that, and getting caught up in some of the attractions that were so commonplace, still are, and so it seemed like the right thing to do. All these memories came back of just everything, the meetings, the skits that we used to do, and doing security, and just everything,
It became a little bit of a hurdle for some people, the history of the building, but the way that we always explained it is like if a drunk driver hits somebody in your family, you don't blame the car. You blame the driver. So we didn't feel anything inherently evil or anything concerning the wood.
It could happen again, and a way, it is always happening. It's always young people that are taken advantage of, who have the good hearts, but maybe don't have the cynicism that lets us look at things askance sometimes, thank goodness.
No question they believed in those ideas, but how would you achieve them? And what's the value of that goal if everything else is so strained and false?
I think throughout the years of being in the temple, it's sort of hard to explain, but when your life isn't your own and you grow up like that, there's not a whole lot of feeling.
All subject to that. If we're with a group of people that we care about and we care about their opinions of us, we sometimes don't stand up for what we think is the right thing to say, because they must be right and I must be the wrong one here.
I find myself being more okay with who I am, and I think that's one of the things that young people struggle with.
Over half of the people that died in Jonestown were in their 20s or younger. And I can't help but think about, all the people that are pulled into terrible terrorist groups, and then in many cases they're stuck there, and in many cases the women, the girls, the children of those people, they don't have anything to say about having been there, much as the people in Jonestown couldn't get out once they were in unless they really risked their lives.
It's a hard thing to point at, though, when people really truly want to believe something. They really want answers. They want some solutions. They don't want a lot of drift. And Jones stepped into that world in a very effective way.
Well, they were both. They are, now is, and then was turbulent times with lots of different ideas and philosophies and religions, and this is the answer, no, this is the answer. So in that way, sort of the feeling of the time, I see a lot of similarity.
In this atmosphere where we really want a safe, appealing answer that's going to solve a lot of problems that we're aware of, could somebody kind of pull all that together in a Jones-like way? Yeah, they could. I just think it's important for efforts like this film, and for other reporters, younger, smarter, faster ones than me, to not forget that this has happened before.